Well, good morning. It's Monday morning after the historic election that you've seen elsewhere on this video site. My father and I are talking about the political ramifications of what has been quite an astonishing election result. Now, financially speaking, quite a few things could happen from here on in, even though we don't yet know who's going to form government. Firstly, interest rates. Now, many people think that the big banks have been holding off on increasing their rates, and this is irrespective of what the Reserve Bank does, because they didn't want to be seen to be moving before the election. If that's true, and they are all making noises about overseas funding costs having gone up, we could see a few rate rises from the banks starting to occur once a government is formed. Personally, I think the Reserve Bank will sit on its hands and keep interest rates steady for the time being, but as we know, the big banks do move their rates around now, regardless of what the Reserve Bank does. Secondly, the mining companies. Now, this is an area where the market is absolutely split. If you think that Labor is going to get back in, even though that is probably unlikely, then mining stocks will almost certainly fall because Labor will be governing with the permission of the Greens, and the Greens have made it clear they want to reintroduce the old resources super profits tax, which Julia Gillard abandoned. That would be very, very bad for mining company valuations. On the other hand, if, as my father and I expect, Tony Abbott forms a coalition government governing in conjunction with three Conservative independents, well, he's made it clear he would get rid of the mining tax, the mining resources rent tax, or mineral resources rent tax. That would be unambiguously good for the mining companies. So this morning on the market, BHP, Rio and Fortescue are all stronger, but I think if the coalition announces it can form a government in a week or so, those shares will go up a fair bit higher. Now, Telstra is another company which was talked about extensively before the election. Its stock has dropped 15 cents today. It's trading at an all-time low of $2.80, but it needs to be remembered the stock has actually gone ex its 14-cent dividend. So actually, it's only fallen 1 cent. It's no longer clear what the election means for Telstra. If Labor gets in, you will have a $43 billion national broadband network, but Labor has promised to compensate Telstra to the tune of between $9 and $10 billion. On the other hand, if the coalition gets in, you've got no broadband network, but one of the consistent things that the three Conservative independents have said they want to do is that they want better broadband in the bush. Now, if the coalition government gets Telstra to do this, that could actually be quite positive for Telstra. So Telstra's a bit mixed. Overall, the market is still trading very much sideways. We've had some pretty good results from the banks, but not enough to really push up their share prices. The mining companies, as I said, very much hinge on what the which party forms government at the election, and for everybody else, it just comes down to profit results. Stocks that do badly are being smashed, like Billabong last week, which really disappointed the market. Stocks that do well are going up moderately. Overall, I see the market as sideways to slightly bearish, and the big thing to look out for, as I said, is who forms government. It has a bearing on so many things at the moment, not the least of which is mining company valuations.